Hi, everybody. Welcome to the SyFy Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia, and I'm joined today by my sisters, Yvette.
Hello.
Sabrina.
Whoop, whoop.
And Fran T.
What's happening?
We are all together again. It feels so good. Reunited. Okay, that's as much as I can do before we get charged.
Coming in.
It's really good to be back. We are going to have fun today. We have what we think is a really fun topic. Once we all started talking about it, we realized that there was a lot more to say about the hair of Star Trek. Now, I know that sounds like a really broad topic, but we want to look at the crazy because, yes, we have talked a lot of times on this show about hair in this show, in Star Trek and amongst other shows with a lot of the Black characters. But there's a lot more to be said about that because sometimes WTF Star Trek. I'm just saying.
Say it. Just go ahead on and say it.
I'm just saying. So, Sabrina, why don't you give folks a little bit of the background of how this topic actually came to be?
Well, it all started in Las Vegas, and Yvette and I were there for the Discovery panel. So, of course, sooner or later, while you're in a Discovery panel, somebody, when you least expect it, is going to ask Sonequa Martin Green about her braids and what it feels like or felt like to be able to wear braids in the show. Now, we have talked this all out, all over social media and every place else, and everyone knows that, yes, Black hair is political. Yes, this was a big deal, but, you know, Sonequa was feeling like she didn't really want to answer that question that day. And she popped it over to the person sitting to her left, who happened to be Emily Coates, right? And so Emily has this, you know, Dittmer, who plays Dittmer on the show, the helmsman. Detmer. She's got this curls of, she's got curls coming all down her head. The girl has gorgeous, beautiful, curly hair, which she cannot wear because she has to have it bone straight for her role. So Sonequa passed the question to her, and Yvette and I fell over. We look like, sis don't even want to go there again with these braid questions.
She's right? So tired of people. No more.
So we sat there in the hotel room just still laughing because Sonequa did it so sweetly and so nicely. Mm-hmm. She just passed it over. And we said, you know, there is definitely something political, and there's definitely something very important about Black hair in Star Trek. It is always a thing. It always means something different for us than it may mean for a lot of other races or people or whatever. But Star Trek, like Tamia just said, WTF, you just have a thing about hair. So we went back and started looking at some of the shows and some of the people and looking at the hair journeys that everyone else has had. And as I like to say, let's dig into the infinite diversity of Star Trek hair and the infinite combination of comments about it. That's what we're going to do right now. So, ladies, give me some of your favorite. What in the world Star Trek hair? I don't know, maybe starting with Strange New World, because we started off with, you know, New Trek, and they just went right to it.
Pike Peak.
Right. I mean, you got to start with the Pike Peak. I mean,
you have to.
Why? He looks like Johnny Danger going there.
I know. Yes. I said, oh my gosh. What are they doing? Are they trying to be funny or what? I mean, you know, his hair just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
It sure did.
But the thing was, you know, we all caught it for the one episode where, yeah, maybe he just got a little crazy. But social media just took it and ran with it for like forever. Star Trek people just came out the woodwork and just beat that hair back down on his head. The next show we saw, his hair was cut back. Like everybody was talking about the hair. The funniest one for me was when they put his picture with the Paramount Peak, and it said, "Y'all aren't right. Y'all are just not right. You better leave Anson alone." Let me tell you, about as captains go, we know that is the best head of hair any captain on any ship has ever had.
Ever.
The most hair.
Well, and he didn't have to sew a toupee on.
Well,
No.
yes. Well, I think every captain has had some hair issues. It's always been a hair issue with every single captain.
That's what I'm saying. Star Trek is crazy with it's the hair.
Shatner with his toupee, and the bald captain.
Well,
the not bald
Shatner.
Captain, then the bald captain.
Then the bald captain.
Well,
and then poor Janeway for her bun.
Oh, that bun was painful to look at.
The bun didn't bother me that much.
The bun never bothered me either.
The bun, but you could tell, I could tell, well, looking at it, if you look at her hairline, it wasn't too smooth. It wasn't a smooth transition for her hairline and that bun.
Here's the thing.
It wasn't.
I never once paid attention to that. Not once. And I did. Even after people started talking about it, I was like, okay, it's just a bun. Surely, it's just a bun. And nobody said squat about 7 of 9's bun.
Thank you.
I mean, not a damn thing.
I don't even know why. Did she have she had a bun?
She had
I don't even remember what she had.
Yeah.
Well, her bun looked more natural. Janeway's didn't look. It just didn't look. It looked, for her personality, the bun had to me, look really stiff and formal. And that wasn't her personality. That's why I said it didn't fit her. I guess I should say it like that. It didn't fit. In more ways than one.
Nobody was looking at Seven's bun. Nobody cared about Seven's
I was just going to say,
nobody's cared about her
last
bun.
thing I noticed.
Nobody cared about at least that bun. Might have been looking at another bun, but not the one on her head.
Not
the one on her head.
Poor Jerry Ryan. Yeah. They even went crazy when she took her hair down. That was another 3-4 weeks we had to hear about that. I mean, oh my God. So I wanted to say Shatner, I was reading about this because, we were getting prepared for the hair episode. And Shatner was actually losing his hair back in 57. So it was well before. So that was something that he was used to wearing. So there was no big deal with him when he came in as captain, because he knew he was going to wear the toupee. And of course he was, because he was only 30 something when he was doing the show. He was up against Jim West, who had a gray head of hair. So, Shat had to put that thing on. But then we get to the next captain there, and it is just a fight. My boy Patrick Stewart was fighting to keep his bald head.
Yeah, because they wanted to put him in a toupee too.
They wanted to put him in a toupee, which would have been ridiculous. Could you imagine that? Didn't they do that for a screen test? I think they said they did it for a screen test, and it just was so ridiculous.
I saw the screen test, yeah.
And did you see the look on his face?
Well,
I've seen him in other things. I've seen him in other things when he's had a toupee on, and I don't know. He's just kind of like a natural bald guy. But what I think is really interesting about Patrick Stewart is that they were fighting with him to put the toupee on because they thought that his bald head was going to make him look weak. But they were fighting with Avery,
right?
Because they thought his bald head would make him look fierce,
right? And too intimidating.
Too intimidating.
Too intimidating, not fierce. Don't put a positive spin on it, because there wasn't a positive spin. They thought he was going to be too intimidating as a strong black man.
Yep.
With a bald head.
And that Patrick Stewart was going to look too weak for a white man.
Yeah.
I thought that.
Let's not talk about the goatee that went with the bald head.
More hair.
Since we're still talking about hair.
More hair.
But if okay, I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead,
Patrick Stewart's head always looked very phallic to me. Just out and out phallic. That's what makes him look the way he looks to me. So there you go.
We have 3 sisters looking at Free.
Yeah, y'all should see the way they're looking at me. I know. Y'all know why they're looking at me like that. So, but anyway. Yeah, ballot guy.
All right.
Okay.
There's nothing we can say to that.
Nope.
Hey.
Well,
and
okay.
Avery's head just looks sexy. There's a difference.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
maybe
not even
not
gonna
to some
touch it.
people,
I'm
but
like,
to me, it's a difference.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a move right on over that.
That was Fran saying that, y'all. That was me. Yeah, that was me.
I know.
No doubt.
I was thinking about when we started thinking about this show, I just immediately went to all the really crazy hair that, you know, like that we've seen as part of the design for different characters in the show. And like, what were people thinking? Like, this is what futuristic hair is supposed to look like, you know, or hair from another species or something. I remember reading one of the articles for the show, and the dude was right. And he was talking about the Kazon.
Oh, I knew you were going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What in the world?
What? Like, were you born? Like, are you part tree? You know, like, look like, were you born on the bayou?
They look like the Hardfoots from Tolkien.
Right, like the Hardfoots, exactly.
But then they did have that episode where the people did look like they had leaves growing out of their hair. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
They kind of looked like Brussels sprout. They had those leaves, and they were, I don't know, what was it? It was that was Voyager, I think.
Always. There was no way. I don't know what you're talking about, but I absolutely knew you were talking about Voyager.
Yes, and they went down there, and it was the one, I can't even remember what the storyline was, because as I was so distracted by that hair.
No joke. Like, I couldn't, exactly.
Like,
every time the Kazon were on screen, like, I couldn't do anything but stare at their heads. Like, what the hell? Is that shit plastic?
Trying to figure out how they did it.
Some plastic on these people's heads?
It was not bouncing and behaving at all.
It was not bouncing.
I mean, it literally looked like, you know, like one of the Lego dolls, or like, remember, you know, like we used to have these dolls and stuff that you play with. You could put the little hair piece on, it would click on to the top of their head. That's what it looked like.
On Lego Man?
Yeah. Click.
Distracting.
But you know, so that always got me when
this was an episode of DS9. And
I know which one you're going to say.
And the name of the episode is Armageddon Game, or AKA, as I like to call it, Pearls and Squirrels. Season 2, episode 13.
Uh-oh.
It was when oh my gosh.
O'Brien
thank you. O'Brien and the doctor was doing this biochemistry, bioweapon getting rid of, and then O'Brien got some of the stuff on him. But the aliens, the hair, oh my gosh. I'm like, it was so distracting. I was trying to pay attention to the to the storyline, because it was a good storyline. I'm like, but what the hell is going on with this hair? What is this hair? Man hair sticking straight up and then on the side.
I was sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, you still haven't said a single thing that's making me remember what was going on in this episode. So when you said sticking straight up and off to the side, that sort of
all that gel.
I
mean,
back.
It was the gel was
Smurf.
just,
it was like, I don't know,
it was
like,
crazy. I talk about distractions.
That was crazy,
and that was a good storyline. But
it was a good
really
storyline.
good.
That's when what's name they started to become friends. I think that's when they got close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were stuck there trying to they were trying to dismantle the dirty bombs.
The
and then they had to because Miles was dying, right?
Yeah, they got messed up.
Yeah,
and that hair was just.
But the hair, come on. This?
Every species. That's how they define species, with hair.
With hair.
I mean, look at the Vulcans.
Yes.
No,
it's so true. That's so true.
What is that?
It's such a limited way of, I mean, Star Trek gets a lot of grief for, having these sort of one-dimensional description, like all Klingons are this way, or all Vulcans are this way, or all, and you're right. That's just another example of that, how they do it through your hair. You're so right.
But I want to remember, though, in TOS, the Vulcan women had long, elaborate hairdos. I mean, even Amanda, when she was trying to cover up those ears with that high collar, and she had her hair was all up. Even Perrin had this hairdo, but it wasn't until we get to the Rick Berman, or we come back into Next Generation, where the Vulcan women all have the male haircut. But before that, they had beautiful hair. T'Pring had beautiful hair. T'Pol had this whole big do. And I'm glad that they brought it back for, they had to for T'Pring. Yeah, but then, poor T'Pol, they'd stick her with the, she's back at that before, she's before that time. So they would have been, they would have been like wearing their long hair, looking different from the men. Even the Romulan women, because remember the Romulan commander?
Yeah.
Had long, beautiful hair in TOS. And then when we come forward in time, even the Romulans go to like the unisex military haircut. But my girl she was sporting that hair, and she was wearing that skirt.
But that just says so much about the times in which the shows were produced. Yeah, because like in the 60s, in the 70s, like they're really, they had to represent femininity in these prescribed ways,
Exactly.
And then,
understood it.
Right. And then you get to the 80s and 90s, and you get like, okay, well, we don't have to stick in these boxes. We're going to try to do something different,
Or even we were at that point at time saying like we could do everything a man can do, and we can be.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly. Like the point being like there is no difference between us.
Right.
Yeah.
Which meant that poor T'Pol had to put on that wig.
Which meant that we didn't have any damn style anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
Because in the 60s it was hair, boobs, and legs for the women.
Yes, and that's exactly what the Romulan commander had. Even though I love that actress, that was one of my favorite Star Treks. But she
was so. I mean, I love her character.
Loved her.
She was
I love that character.
So dope.
Her name is Joanne Linville.
Thank you. Yes, she turned around in that chair and she had all that hair, and she was just gonna I'm the commander. I said yes. But do you think that the T'Pol would have been different if she had been if Jolene could have played it with her own hair long, without wearing that? Would we still have had so much TNA for her, like we just said about Seven? If she could have let her hair down, because she had her hair down in 2 episodes, and she looked great.
For the Mirror episode.
And the one where Archer lost his short.
That's right.
Memory. Yeah, it always makes me cry. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, that's such a good episode.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
And she looked great, and I wish I would have loved to have seen her character played like a Vulcan woman of the time that we saw in TOS. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been. Really?
I don't know if it would have had any difference on how she played her character, but it might have made a difference on how people perceived her.
I think that's true.
And I'm kind of glad that they didn't do it that way, because, she had an uphill battle as it was.
Yeah,
she sure did.
But that just has nothing to do with hair, probably. But I think she's definitely my second favorite Vulcan. She just played everything with her eyes. And I just think she was just a great actress for that role. And I think the hair, I don't know, I guess because I wasn't really a TOS fan when I was watching Enterprise, I think it just made her more Vulcan. I'm thinking back now that I watched all the TOS and there's Strange New Worlds and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. It probably would have been better if she had long hair, because it would have made sense with it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking.
But wait, I was thinking, so all the women that you guys talked about that had the long hair for Vulcans, were they in like the Vulcan
No, they were not military.
They were not
They were not in the
military.
Vulcan Science Academy or whatever.
Whatever. I forgot what they call it. And then they weren't in Starfleet either, right?
No.
So that's why I was wondering, women, is that the hairstyle?
The
in the military here, you got to have your hair at a certain length.
True.
You got to wear it a certain way here. So
only the Romulan commander was the one.
But when you said the Romulan commander, I was like, oh, maybe not. But it's Romulans, they're gonna do it the hell.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
They don't give a damn.
She was the only woman on that
really
ship.
Not a single solitary.
Right.
Exactly. But I noticed that the guy that played Sarek, the original Sarek, he
Mark
didn't
Leonard.
really have.
Isn't that Mark Leonard?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. He didn't really have the Vulcan, like the straight stuff. His hair looked like that was his natural hair to me.
Yeah, Mark Leonard and Leonard Nimoy, they both had their natural hair, which I think actually helped a lot too. That it wasn't phony. They were really wearing that cut.
It wasn't wiggy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody that's played like the Romulan women, they've had to, they're not cutting their hair for that, doing that.
No.
I just love how a lot of times, like especially like after the TOS time and on, especially during TOS, like in order to imply alien and future with a lot of women's hairdos, they would do like a single like unicorn bun thing in the very top of the head, like all up in the middle of the head. Like, are you kidding? Like they would just pile it all.
Are you talking about Troy and her original?
I'm talking about like I've seen multiple characters with a thing on the top of their head that stands straight up,
they cut like it's like the holders for your when you go to Johnny Rockets and they put the fries or something in that thing.
Yeah.
And then that's what it looked like. Just sitting on top of somebody's head.
Yeah. Like I've seen I remember the one, who was it? The woman was a doctor oh Lord, now I can't remember the episode. Okay. That sounds great. And I think I'm getting 2 episodes confused, so I'm going to shut up about it. But I remember that she had like a part and her hair was kind of combed down to the sides, and then it was bushy on each side of her head. It was just bizarre. Like, I think it was TNG.
It had to be because TNG had the most crazy.
It had the worst, right?
Yeah, they were terrible. They were really
starting with Worf. Let's go right there to it. What did they do to my brother?
Speaking of TNG, they piled so much hair on Searches that I think she must have had bulging discs in her cervical spine.
With all that wig for Marina.
With all those, that hair they piled on her. I'm like, how in the world could she hold her head up?
Mm-hmm. And she's a little thing too.
Yes. I was like, oh my God, why did they put all that hair on her?
I think everybody but Patrick Stewart had some kind of wig thing going on,
augmentation, I'd say, whatever.
Well, maybe not Riker. But Riker had the beard issue.
But he did, Riker
bald
did,
spot, right?
Yeah, he had the bald spot and they was spraying his bald spot and he said he didn't care one way or the other. I read an interview where
and neither did I, Jonathan.
Neither did I, Jonathan.
Not a bit.
But I want to know if anyone ever went up to, Marina Sirtis and asked her if that was really her hair and could they touch it.
See, now.
I don't think that would have went down.
I don't think that would have went down, but I cannot really imagine that happening.
No, that's not happening.
I mean, she's not living that black woman experience. I can tell you that right now.
No, she's not.
No, not
nobody even thought to question it. They just
nobody ever would. People don't need to touch white people's hair. Everybody knows what that feels like already.
Yeah,
but she started the show with that crazy thing on the top of her head too. She
had a crazy thing. That's right. She was one of those people that had a crazy unicorn thing on the top of her head.
It was a braid. Nobody asked about.
Half a Life. Remember Half a Life? Troy's mom.
Yes.
When that daughter, the same lady that played,
yes,
her name, her hairdo, is that the hairdo you talking about, Tamia?
I think so. That's one of
Because that
them.
hairdo, I'm like, oh my God, look at that hair. No wonder they died at 60. Look at this hair. Look at that hairdo she had. Oh my God.
I tell you, one of the craziest.
It must be. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say one of the craziest ones I saw that I can remember. Well, I don't know how crazy it was. It just, maybe stupid is a better word, was Jadzia in past tense.
Oh God, she had the feather.
No, when they had a bob that was halfway, and it was at her eye level. Like if the bob was cut so short, it was like on the same level as her eyes. It was above her cheekbones, and it wasn't it wasn't even like a nice angled like modern cut that would follow the cheekbones.
It wasn't even a cut. I thought it was just. It looked like it was curled under.
Right, like it was curled under.
Yeah, because her hair was in the back. It was long in the back.
Yeah, it was just weird.
That was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And I was like, okay, but you know what? It makes me question, like, how arbitrary our fashion sense is, right? Like, what makes that look so crazy to us? Like, it could be completely normal to somebody, and which is what they were trying to convey. It just didn't work.
Somebody thought it looked good.
And
no, I bet you
somebody approved it.
It looks futuristic, or like, you know.
Yeah. Okay, that was supposed to have been just in like what 2 years from now, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, but that was
but they did it.
Look how they did it.
They did it in the 80s,
right?
90s.
We all thought like, you know. Shoot.
Future.
Sabrina, we thought Y2K was going to take us out. So,
right. Exactly.
Come on.
I was scared. I was scared. Not going to get any money out of the bank, and everything's going to go wrong.
There are kids now, like that I work with. They're like, Y2 what?
They look at you like, really?
That scared you.
I really thought that, huh?
Y'all thought planes were gonna fall out of the sky and ATMs weren't gonna work.
I was good. I had no money in the bank. I was good. I was broke.
I stayed in my apartment the whole day. I was
broke. As who said? Who was it that said I'm space broke? My cookie ain't got nothing on me. Book. That's what it was.
Book. Space broke.
Yeah, space broke. Sabrina, you were getting ready to say something about Worf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. They didn't get that brother right at all. I mean, that isn't even black hair. That's just crazy hair there.
They didn't know what to do with him.
The page bought bouffant.
They started him off with the short hair. You know,
that wig, man. I don't know
what the worst. I was like, I know this black man is cringing. Like, I know you're an actor and you're ready to do your craft and everything, but
wow. I don't know what was worse, the ridges or the wig. I was like, wow. I know. Then they had a ponytail for him,
looking like that girl. Okay, y'all remember that girl? Remember her page?
That was when
She's talking to you, Sabrina.
Exactly.
No.
Man, I'm like,
oh, y'all don't know.
Sabrina, I know
exactly what she's talking about.
That girl.
That girl.
That girl was before my time.
Okay, but it's a lot of folks out there remember that girl, and they like falling on the floor right now because that new walk looked like that.
She's talking to y'all.
Talking to
Marlo Thomas.
But then they gave him the bob. That was like they let his hair grow out, and then they curled it under.
And then they curled it under, right?
They conked it. They conked his hair.
I said they did and then they did the same thing to Alexander. They put him in blackface and conked his hair.
And conked his hair.
I was like, who sat there and said, all right, we're going to act like, you know, we saw the other Klingons. And we knew they had wild, crazy hair. So you telling me that Worf sat in there, went to Mr. Mott, and he said, conk my hair, curl it under, and do the same to my son.
Man.
But Mr. Mott did say that Worf had fine hair and needed a conditioner.
Oh my God.
I was so glad when they tied his hair up in a ponytail. They put that braid on him. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because
Please. And crimped it. And crimped it a bit. You know, it got crimped.
Please, yeah, let it. Well, they unconked it.
Yeah, they unstraightened it and crimped it and gave us some crimp.
But that was the wrongest thing I ever saw. They did to Worf.
And his son.
Poor Worf.
Yeah,
of course, it took to DS9 to,
yes,
for Worf to get any decency. I mean, not just in his hair.
Just his, everything. His
everything.
Storyline, everything.
I used
a good
to take
poker hand.
my friend Lorenzo. Hey, Lorenzo.
Hey, Lorenzo.
He used to always say, like, way back in the day, that, TNG, they had completely emasculated Worf.
Oh, man.
And at first I used to be like, no, because I really wasn't paying that close of attention, and then once I started watching them all over again, I was like, oh, they did chop his, what's off
all the time.
They every single time he would be trying to do his job.
Yep.
As chief of security, no, belay that order.
Yep.
Or they have him saying something stupid and crazy out of his mouth, like nobody who ever works in security would ever think to make that suggestion. Right. And it's like, why is he chief of security again?
Or everyone would get on the ship.
That ship got boarded more times.
Right. Once they got in the bridge, and they would draw their gun, and then he would draw his. It's his bridge. He knows they're coming. They still shot him.
Right.
I'm like, wait, his gun was out before theirs. So how did he get shot and nobody else got shot?
Or broke his wrist.
Something was always happening to poor Worf, and he was always wrong. And
always,
like you said, he couldn't win a hand of poker. He couldn't even win.
Thank God for DS9.
Thank God for DS9.
Got the DS9. He scared everybody but Cisco.
Everybody but Cisco.
He was so redeemed. So redeemed.
And then even in the movies, Jean-Luc talks to him all kinds of ways.
Picard even didn't want to come up against him.
Okay, so
with the hair. It was the hair.
It was the hair. Bring it around, Sabrina. Bring it back.
Samson. He was like
just
Samson.
About to. I was like, okay, let me wrangle these cats now.
Because I could go in or how they treated my man Worf on TNG, man. Because I always say TNG Worf, DS9 Worf. Two different people.
Okay, but what was going on?
Sorry.
What was going on with Geordi's hair at one point? It was sticking up like a pike. Oh, it was sticking up at one point, looking like the Paramount Mountain with some kind of stuff in it, product stuff in it. I don't know what was going on there either.
He had the relaxed.
For like a couple of seasons.
Had a little Jerry curl action.
Yeah,
a little
bother me.
Jerry curl-ish.
I was okay with that.
I was all right.
Yeah, I was all right.
I won't.
It was all his hair was always cut. It was that nice little cut. He had
that nice beard going for a while. I was like, all right now, Jordy.
Yeah.
I liked the beard.
Jordy had a beard.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's talk about beards. I love them beards.
Oh, yeah.
It depends.
Can we just really say that, like, LeVar Burton, this is a total side note, like, these days is just better with age. The man,
my God.
The man is smoking. He is smoking. LeVar, if you're listening.
And I know you are.
I know you are.
You are smoking, brother. And that's all his sister has to say. Hanging up my mic.
White beard going. Did you see that picture of him on the motorcycle on top?
Oh my God. The one with the motorcycle was ridiculous.
Oh.
Go look for it, people.
Stop. Okay. All right. That's enough. I've
digressed enough. These cats here.
I've digressed enough. Beards. You were talking about beards, Sabrina, right?
Yeah. I think that everybody looked good in a beard, but I say my favorite, I would say everybody in TNG, except maybe Barclay and Data.
Oh, God.
Data never got a chance to wear a beard, even in any of the multiple characters he played.
He wore a beard one time.
When?
And they laughed at him.
Data wore a beard. He was trying it on. I think maybe second. Was that second season? And Troy and Wesley just like cracked up the minute they saw it or something. Yeah, it was weird looking. It did not look good. It was creepy.
At
Riker
all.
had a good beard. That was a good beard. That was a real beard on Riker.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think
too.
sometime it was, right? Like they fill in pieces and stuff here and there.
Even though Beverly said she didn't trust a man. What did she say? I'm suspicious of any man with a beard.
With facial hair.
Yeah, and she bet them at the poker game. And she said if she was going to, okay, that's one of those things I wish they would go back to that poker game because I wanted to know what she had. I know she was going to win. They ran out of that room. They didn't want to shave those beards up.
Expectations.
I laughed at that one every time. She was like, no.
Because she knew damn well she wasn't dyeing her hair.
She was like, going to have all of them shave those beards off.
So how did y'all?
She makes comments a lot about, Gates McFadden makes comments about all the wigs they made her wear. Which
I don't know.
I never understood that.
It was the color. They wanted her hair that particular color.
She says it was her hair. It was they made sure it was the same color of her hair.
Really?
There was they just wanted her to wear a wig.
Because that's weird.
And it was like it wasn't the whole series. It was like some. Like,
sometimes she had one on, and sometimes she didn't.
Right? Oh no! So it was. I think so. First season, no. Third, fourth, and fifth, I think yes. And then 6 and 7, no. So it was always for some reason whoever was in charge at that time wanted a wig on her head where her hair was the same color, and the same thickness. So.
It's got to be somebody that never had to wear one all day.
Maybe. I don't know. But like you said, that's, everybody else was wearing wigs. So join the party, sis.
Let's put one on her too.
Well, Troy wasn't wearing a wig. She was just wearing multiple pieces.
Pieces.
I think she had to bump it.
As they used to call them falls.
Yeah, falls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she just had a
whole bunch of. Well, speaking of beards, how about Sarek? When he came in on Discovery, Sarek's beard, and I instantly thought of Spock, Mirror Spock. Mirror Sarek had a beard.
Yeah,
Mirror Sarek.
Like, okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah. Mirror Spock has to be the best beard going in Star Trek. I'm sorry, that was the beard.
Yeah.
Both of them, both Mirror Spocks.
Yep.
TOS and Strange Worlds.
Yep, exactly. It's just something about a Vulcan with a beard. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's.
You talking about? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. What's name had a fierce beard?
Look at her. The grin though.
Just getting all excited. Calm down.
Put the fan on, Fran. Put the fan on.
Okay.
What's going on?
Ethan Peck, his beard. I loved his look. Before I loved his look, his crazy look. I like the crazy look with the beard and the hair and all that. On Discovery.
We know.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're just watching you go crazy.
I think men with beards are sexy. I just think they are.
I've never dated a man that didn't have facial hair.
Huh?
I said I've never dated any man that did not have facial hair.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Be one of them.
I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But as Sabrina and Fran just kind of drift off,
this is turning into a whole different episode.
Yes, it is.
And it started with you.
Yeah, Fran. You started
with Tamia and LeVar Burton. And it
just
never ended.
Got all kinds of... Okay, I'll bring us right back. I want to say one thing.
Okay.
Ro Laren's hairband wig. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think TNG just had some of the craziest hair moments.
Another Bob.
But at least that Bob was like where a Bob should be. It was hitting the chin level,
that thing used to drive me crazy. I wanted to rip it off of her head. I really did.
Damn.
Because it was so blatantly a wig with the damn headband
exactly.
thing.
Headband.
I mean, it just wasn't that. Again, was another one like that you would put on a doll. Like,
why? Why did they do that? And then they made the little child wear it when she became the child.
Right?
The child. Yeah. She had a hairband on it.
I'm like, oh my God, they're making her wear the hairband. I know she was excited. Because Yvette, come back, Yvette.
Yeah.
They had to get a little girl hairband.
Well, I'm glad
that y'all can't see Yvette, but she's lost it. She's just done.
Listen, hairband wigs, they're only good for like coming back from the pool or something. You don't wear it all day long for years and years and years at the helm. No, come on, do the girl's hair.
Coming back from the pool.
You can go, how about the one, I used to have the one that was like a baseball cap and you had the hair coming back. Like you could just throw that on and go back to your house and then go do your hair. You didn't stay in there forever. Poor thing. Okay, and I want to ask about the other TNG thing. Whoopi's braids and that hat.
They weren't braids.
She had braids underneath them. Because she had braids coming down her back.
I don't think they were locks.
Locks, sorry.
Yeah, they were her locks.
But
not braids, Sabrina.
Not braids, locks.
No.
Yeah.
But they covered her up, and I wanted them to, I don't know, just once could she have come out of that?
It would have been nice to have actually seen her
relaxing.
Generations. She was in Generations. They took the hat off.
Finally, they made that little child with that hat too.
They did.
Mm-hmm. They made that little child wear that hat. Exactly. When you said that about Ro, I was like, and little Whoopi was up there in a big ass hat. It was like looked like the poor child was about to topple over. The hat was so big, like the weeble, she wobble, but she won't fall down.
Trying to go up the ladder. I thought one of them was going to lose it. Either the hairband child or the hat child was going to not make it up that ladder.
Well, they did. I want to say, and I know this is going how proud I am that Celia Rose Gooding has the hairdo that she has. I love it.
Yeah.
And there was one guy who shall remain nameless.
Thank you.
Who put on like 5 different sites of disparaging her choice of hairdo, her natural hair. And he's supposed to be black, but I don't know if he is. Because he came in my DMs even before this came on. He said something really disparaging about Discovery and Sonequa. And of course, I cussed him out and told you, don't you ever come in my DMs with stuff like that again. Not about Sonequa and not about Discovery. But he was awful. And there was even some black guys that, agreeing with him about her hair. She, what was the purpose of that? She chose to wear her hair like that. She made that choice. She had the choice where Miss Nichols did not have the choice to wear her natural hair. So, and I love it. I didn't know, when they did that Princess episode, she still has her hair. So I love her hair, and most people do, but the only people that I saw complaining about it was some black men and a whole bunch of white men. Cause, I guess they equate, like some people do, long hair with femininity. And your hair doesn't have to be long for you to be feminine. So,
exactly. And she played a queen, not a princess.
Oh, she did. Oh, excuse me, she did. It wasn't a princess. Thank you, Yvette. It was a queen.
She was the queen.
Right. Yes, and she still had her natural hair. They did not slap a wig on her.
Oh.
So,
I love that.
Thank you, Miss Rose Gooding.
And she did bring out the official Star Trek do-rag. Thank you.
Yes, she did.
Like that do-rag, I screamed. I screamed.
Still can't find it anywhere.
Will you please, StarTrek.com, if you're listening, and we know you are. Sisters are waiting for an official Star Trek do-rag. Will you please Preferably silk line. Thank you very much.
Yes. Absolutely so.
Let us take the Delta and make our own. If you're not going to do it, Wilson.
Right. If you're not going to do it, then the SyFy sisters are going to do it.
That's right.
Hey.
It's so funny that what Fran brought that up. I was thinking about when you said, Celia has the choice where Nichelle Nichols didn't. And I always remember her afro as my favorite thing to see in the motion picture, because I could care less about that movie. It's just it's a lot. But seeing the show with that afro every time, I'm like, oh, look at her.
That's honestly the main reason why I turn on the motion picture sometimes, is just so I can see her in her afro. Yeah, looking so beautiful.
That is it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's perfect.
I mean, exactly. Like,
is it perfect?
But she said, that she would have worn it bigger. She would have had, because she had a big old fro. Mm-hmm. She was sporting the big, Foxy Brown type of fro.
Yes.
But she said that they wouldn't, let her have it that big. But I mean, it's beautiful. Like, it's a great length on her. It's really becoming.
It is.
She had to fight for the fro even for the movie.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it wasn't. They definitely weren't going to let her wear it for the TV show, because she.
Oh no.
She had it, and then they actually had to put the wig on her because she was wearing a fro.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she said she always loved Cicely Tyson when she was in that series. It came on a little bit before Star Trek, I think. And Cicely had the little teeny weeny afro there.
Wasn't she on the Lieutenant? She was on the Lieutenant.
On the Lieutenant, she had straightened hair.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of that show that Cicely was on.
Cicely show. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, but
and she had her natural hair.
Let me tell you, that was it. But Michelle was trying to do it. She said they told her that the reason why they didn't want her to wear the shirt, I'm quoting Miss Nichols. She said the feeling was that the afro had become so very popular that it looked too contemporary. And she said the afro was not modern. The afro has been around for at least, if not more than 5,000 years, probably 10,000 years. I'm not sure how long we've been on the planet, but as long as there have been black people, the afro has been around.
Word,
Go tell them.
SyFy sister snaps in a circle.
Tell them,
baby.
It may be new to you.
Right. We've been knowing about it for a while.
Wow. My God. So, yep, that's it. Star Trek and the hair craziness. So, I guess, what's the show that you would say probably has the least amount of hair issues? Probably my show, Enterprise. They didn't do too much craziness with that show.
No, they really didn't. Yeah.
Nope. They didn't have any weird aliens that I could think of. They didn't have any crazy stuff. They just, maybe they just didn't have a hair budget. I don't know.
I think,
money.
Yeah, and I don't think there's well, no, that's not true. I take it back. I was about to be like, I don't think there's a lot on Discovery outside of Michael's hair. There's not a lot of hair to discuss in Discovery.
Well, Emily Coot's hair, and
that's true.
And then Tilly. The difference between those two hair. There's some hair issues going on.
Well, that's true, because didn't you notice that, like, by the what was that last season we just watched? Fourth season, that Tilly's hair color was different.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Always something. There's something going on where I like when her hair is.
I like her
natural. I like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And Ovo has.
I think it's beautiful.
Great hair.
Yeah.
Ovo's hair is always on point.
Always.
I was trying to see, how could I do that? I would like that.
Okay, y'all. I don't mean to harm. Ovo is smoking to me. Oh my God.
Here we go.
Here goes Fran, y'all.
Oh, whoa. With the hair, and they changed her hair this season to the last season. I still like it.
I still
Yeah.
like it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's always
I
on
still
point.
like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was. I'm telling you, my favorite Owo has got to be when she was Mirror.
Mirror Owo was the
Ooh,
bomb.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was so good.
Yeah.
Hair,
Oh.
everything was. Oh, that was
Everything was on
Oh,
point.
whoa. Oh, whoa. Are you coming to, what you call that? Vegas?
Vegas.
Are you going to be on the cruise?
Yeah, I haven't seen her at any of these.
Oh, gosh. I want to see Owo in person.
Oh, this is
Hang
true,
on,
but
hang on.
they probably won't let her now that if they hear you whining about it like that.
You know, last year, Owo was supposed to be there, and, you know, a lot of people canceled, you know, last year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she was supposed to be there. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. Oh my God! You know what? We talked about all these haircuts and hairstyles, but we didn't mention Tuvok.
Tupac?
Oh, yeah.
Did you say Tupac?
I sure did. Oh, Tupac. Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh, y'all, Fran has reached
I
her
messed up
delirious
names.
point.
That was the best
I
one.
have.
That was the best mess up of the night. Don't even go with me. Fran's
I
on
think
Tupac.
Tupac. Okay.
Hey, Tupac.
Well, at
is
least they didn't put a
something.
wig on him.
Nope.
And you know
but
what?
it was a messed up cut, though. A lot of
Could
times.
you
Like,
imagine him with one of the Vulcan wigs? You couldn't even have.
I
That would have
can't.
been distracting altogether if he had like the Spock straight hair wig,
You
which
know
his
what?
wife
And
had. They made his wife
had
put it
it.
on.
They put
Yeah,
his
the wife
put
did.
one
The
on his
wife
wife
did,
though.
yeah.
They put
They
the
did.
sister in it, but
They put the sister in it, but
They sure did.
and personally, and I don't know this because I don't work in the hair department at Voyager, but I think he may have had something to do. I think he himself may have like, no, y'all ain't putting that on me.
But even when he was the Vulcan on
in TNG.
TNG, or even
the movie.
did he play a Vulcan in TNG or DS9?
No.
when he's in
DS9. He
big
was
movie.
Tuvok on DS9, right? Yeah,
Yeah, but
he was in the
played
Maquis.
when he was was he in the Maquis? That's what it was.
Yeah, remember
Yeah,
he
that
was.
yeah.
He was a spy.
Yeah, they never messed with Tim. He wasn't letting that
They
happen.
never did.
Mm-mm.
They never did.
He
And I
wasn't
think he
wearing
had
no
something.
wig.
No. He
They-
said, no,
I could
y'all
just
ain't
see
putting
him
that on me.
looking at them if they came at him with that
Right. You see
Vulcan
him
wig.
arching that eyebrow and just giving him that
Right.
one look.
Really?
In real life, right?
In real life.
In real life, right?
In real life.
Tim is
They were like,
like,
Tim, you're supposed to be here at 3 a.m. so we can fit you for this wig. He was like,
Vulcan wig.
Yeah, right. Y'all wait
Gonna
on
be
it.
waiting for a minute.
You wait for
Y'all
that.
wait on it.
I see you at 6.
Right? That's 6 for everybody else.
Not
He was the
doing
only
it.
Vulcan of the legendary, of the,
Yeah.
of the legacy. Only Vulcan that they didn't slap a wig on.
Was he the only one that didn't have the wig?
I
No.
think so. I don't remember anybody else.
Yeah,
In-
because I
in-
mean, you
in
mean
Legacy- outside of TOS.
right? Okay.
Well, they slapped the wig on the Black Romulan.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't doing it to Tim.
Why do I think there was a woman, a black Vulcan woman that didn't have a wig on?
Where?
You know what I'm trying to think about? Okay, I'm sorry. This is a jump.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about. We don't have any hair issues in Picard, do we?
All the women I saw in Picard had natural hair.
No.
And they did Guinan. We
That's
actually
the
saw
best thing they
Guinan's
got.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the
so-
best thing they got. And
Well,
Guinan's
because they
hair
got
was
Michelle
on point.
Hurd, so as long as they have Michelle Hurd, you got some good, nice,
Yeah.
beautiful.
You gonna have
I
a natural.
love that they
hair.
let she could wear her hair natural. I love
Yeah,
that.
she will.
Oof.
And I love that she said that, like, she did Rafi's curls, like, even more, like, she
More.
exaggerated
Yes,
them,
exaggerate
you know.
them,
like,
yeah.
and
She said,
I
"Give me
was like,
more,
oh,
give
I
me
love that.
more." You know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But we missed
So the
one- we
best
missed
thing
one.
about Picard is
Best
no
thing
hair
about
issues.
There's no hair
No
issues.
hair issues. No.
Got some gray hair in Picard.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Well,
G, everybody.
so-
Yep. She had dirty feet, but I remember that. I will never forget when we did our first Picard episodes when me and Sabrina and Fran were doing the breakdown of Picard season 1, and Sabrina kept saying, "I just can't stand watching their love scenes because they got dirty feet."
Dirty feet.
I was like,
sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. It's just
we're sorry about the dirty feet, but I mean, we weren't the ones that had the dirty feet. We just happened to notice it.
Nope.
Yeah.
But we've missed one person who had gorgeous hair, and we've not mentioned her hair.
Who's that?
It was Penny Johnson, Cassidy Yates.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't focused on gorgeous hair.
Yeah,
I was focused
they did that right.
Hair.
Well, yeah, but they needed to give her some better outfits and hairdos. She had, oh God, remember she had the dress with the one shoulder, and they had her hair. She was so beautiful. She was so beautiful. I want to give a shout out to beautiful hair and Cassidy Yates.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she had.
Cassidy Yates was just hair. It was just beautiful.
I want to do a shout out because I don't want the people of hair and makeup to be mad at us. So it was so beautiful. There's
lots of beautiful hair going around. Right? But there's also lots of craziness going around. But like you said, you don't want to, because what would I think, if I was put into the position to say, okay, I've got to write something, I've got to make a look for, this many, how many ever hundreds of years in the future, right? On a different planet or a different alien or a different species. I don't know what I would come up with. I'm not faulting anybody's imagination or something, sometimes I'm just saying that Kazons are crazy, but it was a really imaginative thing though,
but Kazons are crazy.
Kazons are crazy, but I just always wanted to reach onto the screen and pull their little plastic doll headpiece off. Thank you, Yvette.
Here you go, Maj.
Just wanted to pull it off.
Maj.
I'm telling you, I know Seska got the whole thing. I was like, so Seska, what's really going on with that hair? You were there close and personal.
Okay, what's the name? What? Oh, some more crazy people. And I can't, DS9, the people that's addicted to Catcher Cell White. What was going on with their hair?
The Jim
Hadar?
Jim Hadar.
Well, you're right, Fran. You're right.
They had one little patch on the top. They did.
They totally
forgot about that.
One little patch, and it was all black and straight, and it was one little patch coming out the top of their head, those little Cupid dolls, or there used to be a doll that you could pull her hair up and make it long.
A Tressie doll.
Yeah. That's what it looked like coming out the top.
Yeah, because why did they need hair?
And why did they
what
even
was the point have them having hair?
Oh, Jim Hadar having hair, right?
They were engineered, right? Bioengineered, and
they sat there and they designed that mess on them.
So what was that? There was no need for the hair at all.
Well, changelings, what do the founders know from hair?
Right. Well, there you go. If Odo is any
indication,
right?
No, they sat there and they said to them, "Okay, come on in, get your wig on." Well, that must have been part of the prosthetic, the prosthetic.
The stuff that they put on top of their hair, and they said,
"Okay, put that whole piece on them."
Yeah.
How could we not right, Fran? That is
remember the Kazon. I mean, Jim Hadar. Excuse me.
Well, the water hair,
hilarious, y'all.
The water hair is also kind of funny too.
Who?
The water and their hair.
Oh gosh! Oh yeah.
That's almost I don't know.
But the hair and the ears went together,
right?
Yeah.
The hair and the ears went together.
That was one of my favorite aliens, the water.
We really could talk about this all night. We could go deep, deep, deep into deeper woods. But I think we've exhausted.
That's all I got.
We just wanted to have fun talking about the weirdness of the hair. And but it's a great thing that, that people are doing their jobs when they make you talk, and the one thing that we can be really grateful for in our favorite franchise is the fact that it stimulates our imaginations in so many different ways. and I think the hair and makeup teams don't get enough credit. A
lot of work.
It's a lot of work and a lot of creativity, and so thank you guys. You guys do a great job, and even the ones that we think are really bizarre, like get my brain working in a whole nother way. And now I've got a new image in my brain. Like if I meet a Kazon, I'm not going to be surprised by his click-on hair.
But go back and look at Tamia. Go back and look at Armageddon Game.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 13, DS9. Check out that hair.
I will.
It's 2 different sets of aliens, and they both have weird hair.
Okay.
But O'Brien had gray hair. He kept that hair the same the whole time he was on Star Trek.
It's beautiful curly hair.
That's his real hair, man.
That's his real hair. Beautiful curly hair. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to wind up this discussion. If you guys have your thoughts about crazy Star Trek hair and you want to share them with us, please do so. And Yvette is going to tell you how to do so, because we're going to do so on how to do so.
Lack of hair or lack of.
You can find us at SyFysistas.com. That's SyFysistas.com. You can join us on the Mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the SyFy Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. Download the Trek Geeks Network app, where you can find us and our family of podcasts on the Trek Geeks Network. On Instagram, sci-fi.sisters. We are also on the Twitter at SyFy Sisters. Become a patron of SyFy Sisters today at patreon.com/SyFy Sisters. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And we don't want to be remiss and forget a shout out for the baddest engineer in all the universes. And his hair, I've seen it, is really dope. And that's Dose, the anonymous one. Dose. So if you are in need of production services or music services, he is responsible for all the music you hear on this program. You can find him at dose_the_anonymous_1 on Instagram. And we just want to say, we love y'all. Thank you for listening. And peace, love, and hair grease.
Yay.
Woohoo. Hey, it's time for the shorty shout out. We want to say thank you to the following patrons for helping to bring the SyFy Sisters to you. Peter Heisler, Olga Kravchuk, Felicia Watkins Kimball, TJ Jackson Bay, Kelly McKinnon, Kalia Zawacki, Sam Drope Dickinson, Stephanie Baker, Sailor Marge, Stephanie Dole, Starbase Centaur 4210 Productions, Jamal Taylor, Scott Jensen, Ann Bradley, J.R. Poole, Howard Hogan, L.M., The Chief Ernesto Castagna, Timothy Baum, Homer Frizzell, Dave A. Gregory, Eve England, Daphne Ballston, Karen Dramera, Sue K., Luce R., Anne Marie, Mohammed Noor, Susan V. Gruner, and Anna Post. Thank you all so much for your patronage.